Cruellica Kain here at 2019's Denver Pop Culture Con. So I am here today with Amalie Howard, who is an awesome author. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
So we have interviewed you before, but it was not by my awesome self. It was by Kaijin Okami. So I just want to kind of pretend that never existed. Is that okay?
Right, yeah, okay. We'll erase that.
Absolutely. So tell us about yourself. What can we know that you have never told anyone? Your dirty secrets.
Oh my gosh, that's like so much pressure. Dirty secrets. I write romance. We can go like super dirty here, but is this PG? I don't know.
We are safe. It's a safe place.
Well, you just asked me about Harry Potter, so my dirty secret that I'm like evil and Slytherin, I guess? I don't know.
No, I can't. So tell us a little bit about your romance novels. I see they're set in more of that Regency era.
Yeah, so I write Regency romance, which is like in the 1800s, and also Highlander romance, so a little bit of Scots in there. And it's awesome. I really enjoy writing romance because, you know, I like the happy ever after or the happy for now. It's feel good. There's so much to be said. You know, in a romance novel, I know people kind of, there's a lot around it that people are like, oh, it's romance and, you know, it's not literary or something. There's a story has like a beginning, middle, and end. And if it takes you on a journey and you're happy at the end of it, right? That's awesome.
Well, that's the most important part, I think, that people forget with romance novels is it's not just about the love. It's not just about the man finding the woman, woman finding the man. It's about the journey from start to finish, right. Especially when you get into the Highlander, because I love Highlander romance novels. Yeah. And the hard part with those is some people forget that you're going into an era of Scotland that people really don't know much about. So it's also teaching you history at the same time.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love writing about it because the locales are really beautiful. I've been to Scotland, I've been to Edinburgh, it's really beautiful there. I try to, in my historical romance, be as authentic as I can to the time and to the, you know, like the landscape, so I'll do a lot of research to figure out where I'm writing, even though the towns are fictional and the places are fictional, because I find that when there's that authentic element, people sort of, they get more into the story, and you want to deliver that full round experience.
Now, do you tend to write with extremely strong female characters that kind of have to be taken down a peg? Do you write with female characters that are just kind of escaping? Or how do you create your female dynamic for the heroine?
I like my female characters to have agency, and what that means is like they you know, they're empowered with their own where they're going with their own like fates, and it's not so much strong female characters, it's more like real female characters. Also in my books, I want them to take to go on a journey. You don't want them to have a flat character development. You want them to like start somewhere and finish somewhere. So even if they do start out like say hard or unemotional, you know, or you know, I don't know, super angry at the world, depending on the character you're drawing, like you want them to change, evolve by the end of the book. And same for the reverse. If they start out, you know, like a Mary Sue or, you know, super delicate and they want more adventure, like they evolve by the end of the book.
So what got you into writing romance novels?
I used to steal my grandma's Harlequins and Mills and Boons when I was like 15 and read them under the covers because, you know, I should have been studying and yeah. So I always love romance, always.
Well, you're a kindred spirit because I did the same thing with my mother and grandmother all the time. My mom would be like, I love the fact that you're reading, but can you please read in your age range?
Right? I know, exactly the same. I mean, I remember stealing Erica Jong's Parachutes. That's like in the 1970s. That's a racy book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I always say that I would prefer that with my kids, like, you know, with the access to internet and all this stuff today, I would prefer that they read one of my romance novels. At least there's story around it, right? With intimacy and love and a relationship, as opposed to going online and seeing, you know, just sex on TV or, you know, porn.
Well, it's kind of scary to think how the internet has also changed romance, because I've noticed a lot of the Regency or the Highlander romance novels, they're not going to the wayside. There's still a market and a love for them, but you're seeing a lot more of the other romance genres, which are not bad by any means, but it's nice to kind of go back to that old school, because I also enjoyed like the Civil War era romance novels for the American West.
Right. I mean, You know, romance is like $1 billion industry,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So it's the top selling genre, and I mean, there's so many different breakouts of it. So it just depends on what your, you just talked about that you loved historical, what your jam is. There's contemporary, there's historical. I've heard that World War II books
I haven't seen
are
those.
now coming back, are very popular now for romance. So it depends, And even in my YA books, I always have a thread of romance in there. Science fiction, fantasy, because, I know it's kind of cliche, but love makes the world go round, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Love, I think, is the most important aspect that any character can have, because if you think about it, even with the Harry Potter universe, not to kind of go with a different author, but Rowling was very good at saying love is the strongest weapon. And I think that's why it's so important when you have for YA books or romance or any kind of writing that you have an element of that love, because it demonstrates weakness and strength.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just like romantic love. There's parental love, there's friend love, there's
absolutely.
neighbor love. I mean, there's and if you're a faith person, it's faith love. I mean, there's all kinds. So it's not just restricted to hey, am I going to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend or either,
Well, what keeps you motivated with trying with writing new books or trying new endeavors when it comes into the YA world? What do you do even for romance to keep yourself motivated?
I read other books. I think the biggest motivation is being inspired by other talented authors.
Oh, yeah.
I also love watching movies because I'm a really visual person. So if I see a movie or a show or read a book and go, oh my God, this would have been so great if this happened, right? I mean, because there's a saying that no art is original.
No.
All it is you take something that's existing and put a tweak on it to make it fresh and new, whether that's a gender twist or some other, change. And so I think inspiration just comes from basically experiencing other art.
Absolutely, and I think it also comes from experiencing the world at the same time as well. If you don't have take a chance to see new things, try new things, you'll never be able to do it.
And absolutely, and that's also right in terms of representation. And if we're talking books, reading outside of your lane, if you love Greek mythology, and I'm not giving myself a plug, but try Hindu mythology, right? So I write about Lakshmi and Kali, which is because your world is super diverse. So why not read something that's different? And you just said that, you said that just before.
Oh, absolutely. No, and I think that's a great plug as well of even taking Hindu mythology for what you have here with Dark Goddess, because there's so many elements that come with it. Yes. And I think it's beautiful. I actually learned a little bit about it in high school, but that was the extent of it.
Right.
So learning about it in adulthood, I think, is a great way of reminding yourself that there's more to the world than just what you see in front of you.
Absolutely. I 100% agree.
So I know we started the interview talking a little bit about your dark secret, and you had mentioned that you're secret evil. But so what house are you from with Harry Potter?
Slytherin.
So see, once again, I'm a Slytherin, so Slytherins rule. So remember that, world. Slytherins are awesome.
That was a Hufflepuff walking by. Yeah, no, we got you.
So, sorry, Hufflepuffs, Gryffindors, Ravenclaws, we are the best.
We are the best. Yes.
So thank you very, very much. And I know we're redoing this interview like the other one didn't exist. So tell the world where they can find you and where they can connect with you or read your work.
Awesome. So I'm online, all the social media sites. I'm at Amalie Howard, Twitter, at Amalie Howard Author on Facebook. My website's www.amaliehoward.com. Just Amalie me. And Amalie is everywhere.
You cannot avoid Amalie because she is everywhere. See? Remember that, kids.
I'm like a Slytherin tidal storm. No. Yeah, that sounded awesome. That could be my superpower.
That actually does seem awesome. I like that.
So let's gangster out.
So thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your convention. Bye!